Hi, and welcome to Fretwork Central, the place to learn guitar and bass. In this video, we are going to continue talking about bending the strings on the guitar and learn some more cool bending stuff. So let's get into it. Hopefully you have watched the first video on proper bending technique. We talked about the string gauges, tuning of the guitar, how to clamp your hand around the neck and push with the wrist and not with your fingers so much. And also how to pitch match, where we're going to play a note and do something like that, where we're trying to slide to a whole step higher, and then we're going to go back and bend to that. And we were doing that all over the place, and towards the end we were talking about doing other bends that weren't a whole step, and that's where we want to start with this video. Figure 1 is going to show us doing a half step bend here on the second string, where we're going to play 5, 7, 8, and then we're going to play 7 and bend it until it sounds like 8. I mean, we could just play the 8th fret and then the 7th fret. But that's kind of a cool little line there. You could do something like that. I'm using the second and third finger. You could use your third and your pinky. And then right there at the end of that, you can slide up to the 10th fret. And then do that lick, which is figure number 2. This is going to be bending a step and a half. That's going from 10 to 13, A to the note C. So we get that right on up there. Then we're going to play 8 to 10 and the 9th fret of the 3rd string. And give that some vibrato. We have another video talking about vibrato, so I'm not going to get into that, but that's something that you definitely want to be working on. All right, so that's half a step and a step and a half. You probably could bend more than that, like if you wanted to go from... one move that's kind of cool that you hear different guys doing is bending different intervals on the same string on the same note. Like here, for example, we're at the 12th fret. Now, there's no diagram for this, no figure for this, but let's say we're on this note, which is a B. We want to go up a whole step, then 2 whole steps. We can also do quarter step bends. Now, what this is a very common bend that a lot of people get wrong. There's 3 parts to this bend, and they're all equally important, and they all have to be done in order for this to be executed correctly. What we're trying to do is this. You hear this all the time. Now, of course, when we just first start doing that, you automatically think bluesy kind of. But these kind of licks, these kind of bends are used in blues, country, rock, heavy metal, pretty much all forms of music. What you're doing here is you want to hit that string. We're playing the 5th fret of the 3rd string. We're going to play that note and not bend. That's the first part of the 3 different parts. Do not bend. Now you're not going to wait that long, but we want to play that, don't bend, and then once you start bending, you have to stop the pitch, the sound on the way up, where it just kind of stops as it's leading into something. And your ear and your brain fill in the rest. Now, in order to get that sassiness out of that, you have to do that, all three of those things. Pick it, bend, and then stop. Because if you don't stop it, and the bend stops before you mute it, game over. Or if you hear it coming back down, like, now that could be an effect of its own. But if you want to get that sassiness, you got to do those quarter step bends like that. Figure number 3 goes like this. That's just a little bit, playing around with that idea of the quarter step bend. But you could do this anywhere. A lot of times, and I'm using this the same place every time. We're in the key of A, and we're hitting the flatted third, which is the note 3 frets higher. In this case, the note C, and we're bending it just a quarter step, but almost a half a step, where we're going to get that inflection from the C to the C sharp and then back to the root. All right, so there's some fun you can have. Bend in half steps, or step and a half, or even 2 whole steps. I also doing the quarter step bends and moving them around a little bit. And you can combine all of this with some whole step bends. All right, in the next video, we are going to talk about bending the strings when you're playing more than one string at a time, like unison bends, or these little double stops that we do there, where you can bend on one string, catch another string, and come down on that string. Kind of a cool deal. You can also bend more than one string with one finger. We also want to talk a little bit about stylistic approaches and how to use bends expressively in different styles of music. Like rock music, of course, there's bending all over the lead guitar in that. Even with guys like Eddie Van Halen, he is very often cited as the father of fretboard tapping, but there was a lot more to his style. And he had some incredibly great lines with very interesting bending. Then we want to take a look at some of that. Also, maybe like some country, like these pedal steel licks, blues players like Johnny Winter. Stevie Ray Vaughan, of course, he was crazy dude with bending and would often bend several strings at one time with 11 or 12 gauge strings. So there's that to look forward to. And some other crazy stuff. So until then, practice a little bit that we talked about today. Tune your guitar, especially after all this bending, and keep making great music.